New calls today for Democratic Party reforms ahead of next year's midterms, and they come as new revelations about the capability of President Biden are drawing concerns from Democrats, some offering their opinions on how to move forward this morning.
We paid too much deference to party leaders, to the old guard, to the advisors. We needed to be more independent and push back.
Before we get out here and start trying to tell people, why they should like us, we need to look in the mirror, reorganize ourselves, get bad people and bad ideas out of the way, and then we'll be able to come forward in the midterm.
And with me here in the studio, Pennsylvania State Representative and DNC Vice Chair Malcolm Kenyatta. Malcolm, welcome. Let me pick up on that, what was just said there. We need to get bad people and bad ideas out of there, and then we'll be able to come forward in the midterms. Give me your reaction to that. What does that even mean?
You know, I'll leave other people to comment on what they're saying, but let me tell you what I think. The Democratic Party, our mission, and then ultimately our message can be summed up for me in 3 words: make life better. How do we make life better for the seniors who are right now watching in horror that Republicans want to cut Social Security, calling it a Ponzi scheme? How do we make life better for the mom who's being squeezed and can't spend the time with her kids she wants to spend because she's working an extra shift? And certainly, how do we do that for workers and working people who want to join a union? I think we do it by passing the PRO Act, giving people a raise by raising the minimum wage. The list goes on. And so we have to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is Donald Trump has spent over 100 days making life worse and miserable for the American people for the benefit of himself and his donors, while life does not get better for working families.
So are constituents telling you specifics? Look, this has got to change. And if so, how does that align or not align with traditional Democratic values?
A part of the problem we face right now is that there's so much noise. And we're having this inter-party debate that you are well aware of. And I don't want to add to that noise, but I do want to cut through that noise. Right now, I've been having a conversation with my fellow vice chair about some of the machinations and debates that are happening. And I think it's important, though, that people understand this timeline right here. So on February the 28th, someone challenged the election of my vice chair and David because of procedural grounds. On March the 25th, Chairman Martin laid out a bold agenda to reform the party, including neutrality. And it wasn't until April 16th that David made clear he was not going to abide by that neutrality pledge. I think leading into this election, it should be clear to voters, and it's important that voters know party leaders are not going to pick our nominees for president or for state representative, that they are going to pick. And then we as party leaders are going to respect their support.
Yeah, I would have that conversation even further if David, who were here with you, I'd like to have him be able to respond to things. But there are a number of Democrats who are either hinting that themselves, look, we might run, others may be calling on us to run. Give me a sense of who you think is prioritizing not only Democratic Party values that can reach the majority of Democrats, but stand up to President Trump at the same time. Are those things mutually exclusive?
I think it goes back to those 3 words. You make life better. If you're talking about how we make life better for folks, then you have to have a conversation at the same time that we can't fund tax breaks for billionaires and then cut the social safety net for the American worker. That puts you in a position where you're doing both. If you want to talk about making life better for people, as I believe the Democratic Party must, then that means you have to stand up to Donald Trump trying to disappear people, ignore court orders, because it puts the rule of law in real chaos. And so we have to do both. And I know that what we're going to do is try to tamp down the noise, try to keep the main thing, as the Super Bowl winning coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, says. And the main thing is we need to make life better for working people. Donald Trump is only trying to make life better for him and his family.
Let me look quickly, though, at the Democratic favorability numbers. It's kind of tough lately. Let me go through them. They're generally underwater. Strategists, though, like James Carville, pretty bullish, saying not only do we have a shot at winning in 2026 in the midterms, but he thinks we're winning now. It's smaller, necessarily, state legislature and races like that. But do you agree with him?
This is what I think. I think at the end of the day, there are a lot of people like me who want to reform this party. It was a part of the reason I ran. I didn't run because I thought everything was going great. But there are too many people who think that coming and sitting with you, Alex, and other people and saying the Democratic Party sucks, that's actually reforming the party. That doesn't reform the party. No. We have to do the hard work of making sure that when voters pick our nominees, not party bosses, that we have everything in place for them to beat Republicans in the fall. That's why right now at the Democratic Party, we're investing over $1 million a month into our state parties, the largest investment in history. It's why we're hiring the top talent, and not just talent out of the political world, but top incredible talent who can help power our response to Donald Trump's lies. And it's why we're building out the technological infrastructure. And I get a lot of these things for the average person is boring. What they see is the results of the work that we're doing behind the scenes. And I want to make sure that we are focused on that and we're lifting up voices that want to prioritize the 3-word mission of this party: make life better.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you for communicating that to us. And I love your enthusiasm. You're clearly A for effort working on this. Malcolm Kenyatta, thank you.